I'm in the office today, about to head off down to see a lady called Laura from a company called Meltdown, which is an independent business, and we're going to have a chat about possibility of franchising or how she intends to expand her brand, and I'm hopefully going to give her a few tips. If she'd opened her door at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, she would have seen me stripping naked outside the front door.
A million things going on.
Yes, please.
Do is just have a general conversation about business, how you're getting on, what your sort of idea was behind Meltdown and where you see it going, and just general chit chat. I'll kind of jump in with where I've come from.
I've always worked in hospitality, so it's always been hospitality for me. But as for my own business, it was never had clear. I haven't spent 20 years going, I can't wait until I can open my own cheese toastie cafe. On the contrary, I never thought I'd be opening my own business because I just thought it wasn't a possibility, really. I was in London for 15 years, so it wasn't. And then when I came back, and then the shop kind of came to me, to be honest. So it was good timing. I'd literally just quit my job because that's it. I can't do 40 nowadays.
So I know you worked, or you started at Barno.
That's right.
So
I opened a Barno free, and
So then this place just kind of came available, and you
I'm
doing a cheese toastie.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I've always been front of house, never in the kitchen, so it had to be something that was easy to execute. I didn't want to spend £35,000 a year on a head chef who's undoubtedly also going to be a psycho. So I wanted to keep it really easy, non-perishable. Something that I think I just didn't feel arrogant enough that I could go and do, banh mi or whatever, So it needed to be something quite simple, but at the same time, this is something I've always done at home. I've always cooked a toastie in butter, in a pan, properly at home. So there's a link to that anyway. It's something I did,
Yeah, see, my background came from something completely different. I came from an accounting background, and I actually made a conscious decision to do the first sort of go fresco as a sandwich bar coffee shop because I actually thought it was going to be easy. Which was obviously a big mistake, right? Because it isn't easy at all, and if it's you, everything comes down to you. So it's like you can't hide in corporate business.
No.
We can hide in corporate business, but you can't hide in it when it's your business.
Yeah.
Because
you can't cut corners and think, suck that until I get in trouble for it.
Well, it's all about you, isn't it? And I've seen on your reviews is like some of the highest in Chester, and that's got to be because of you, because you're here and you're investing your time in here, and it's a reflection not just on your product, it's a reflection on you as well.
It's an experience is what it is. Ultimately it's a cheese toastie, and that's all it is food wise. So that can only be so good in theory, but it's the whole experience that comes with it, sort of from being greeted when they walk in, and I guess just the general personality of the building. Obviously that stemmed from me, but I've had other people in here who have managed to do that, usually alongside me. That's the fear, is if I wasn't in here, whether people would still want a piece of me.
Yeah. Well, that's what I found really difficult when I created Walk and Go, because Walk and Go is like my baby, that's my main business. I sold obviously Go Fresco years ago. But the moment that started to grow, so we opened up 2 in Chester, and then we went to Liverpool and opened up 2 in there. There's no one else's money involved, there's no other partners involved in it. The moment you back away from the business and you become reliant on other people to, have your values and your customer service, it's difficult, and you get let down, and it doesn't happen. I go through our scores on our customer service, and you look at it and you just go, oh, shit, there's some that are just, that's not how I want it. And you can train staff as much as you want, but the moment you're away from it, there's a real fear, and also the realisation that it's never going to be.
No, everybody's got to put the passion into it that you do by any stretch of the imagination. There's the occasional member of staff you fall upon who will perform as well as you do. It's rare.
Yeah, and they're kind of gold dust, and
especially in hospitality, especially in this country, sadly, where it's still looked upon as an industry that you work in and you're not good enough to do anything else, I think. That's different.
Well, no, it's a good conversation, because it is something that we've come across, obviously, we've now got 20 stores in the UK, and finding the right staff for it that want to work in hospitality is difficult. But what we've seen is, whether it's because of Brexit and it's made it more difficult to employ overseas staff, the standards are starting to get a little bit better because we're having to pay more money, we're having to train people better because they won't stay with you.
Yeah.
Because everyone's trying to steal each other's stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone tries to steal our chefs. We train them on the woks, and then before we know it, they've gone off to some sort of buffet place, and we've spent 6 months training them.
Yeah.
So
longevity isn't the thing, is it, with your staff in this industry?
So I think it's slowly but surely changing that the industry is starting to care more for its employees.
I think the employees are under more competition as well, because ultimately they want to work in the cool coffee shops or whatever, and if they don't have the skills to do so, then they're not going to get in. I always find it really interesting in this country that people come and apply in a coffee shop, but they don't have any coffee skills.
Yeah.
In Australia, which is where I'm from,
Right.
you'll go and you'll pay for a course so you can be trained as a barista, and then you'll put it on your CV, I've taken the trouble to get trained, and then you'll get a job. If you don't bother, then throw your CV in the bin. And the mentality here is like, just rock up and be like...
That was me.
Yeah.
I turned up at my cafe and I did coffee. And then for the first 6 months I was scared of the coffee machine.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what
Everybody
the
is.
hell I was doing. It's like this bloody steam coming out of it, it's making all these funny noises, and it's like I burnt my hand, and it's like I've got milk spurting all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, I don't know how to do
It's a
this.
big deal as well, isn't it? It's such a huge industry. I've got a guy on trial tomorrow who's a chef, and he's a trained chef. But I've told him, if you can't nail the coffee machine, then there's no job for you, because here we have to, sometimes we run solo, but it's also all hands on deck.
Yeah.
So if he can't make me a flat white, then it doesn't matter if he's been in the kitchen 20 years, no good to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's terrified.
Were you always the front of the house person? Or?
Yeah, always front of house, yeah. My parents had restaurants, and worked for them, and then went off to London, ran pubs. Well, I did a bit of both actually, a bit of West End management, worked for Oliver Payton for a few years, and then went to pubs,
Right.
and then sort of came back.
See, I've always been the back of house. I think it's because the face may scare a few people. It's that intense look I probably give people. I've never been a front of house person, so I've always tried to make sure that whoever I employ is someone that's got more of a personality and is happy to be out on the front.
Yeah.
And,
Do you know that can be one of the hardest things to find, because you cannot train that. You can't train somebody to be friendly or have a personality, or just have that inbuilt sense of, if somebody sat there and said, can I have tomato ketchup, and we don't have tomato ketchup, somebody would think, well, I'll just go to the shop next door. You'd be amazed how many members of staff, like, that wouldn't occur to them, just to be able to, no, well, no, I haven't got any, it's finished. Like,
yeah, and we've had people who've been really efficient, but they've got no personality, or they've got no smile on the face, and I can identify that because I can picture myself in there and say, right, I definitely don't want me in the front of the house, so I need someone that's got the bubbly personality.
Yeah.
But equally, you want them to be good at what they do.
Yeah.
It's great having a bubbly personality, but if you're putting all the wrong orders through and all the rest of it, then it's
well, sometimes
it's
that bubbly
difficult,
personality, again, in hospitality goes with a party mentality, which doesn't necessarily work.
Yeah, it's been a real eye-opener for me, and also, like then expanding it, it's another learning curve once you get to that point. So what about you? What's your plans on what you intend to do with Meltdown?
I'm definitely at the stage now where I'm starting to think about a second unit, because I just about to make a living now, but if I'm going to actually make some money, then it's not going to come out of one unit. Certainly not a unit down a back street in the suburb of Chester. So that would definitely be that is, I feel like, in my head. I'm going to open my eyes. The summer will be over because it's July, and then before we know it's Christmas. So I feel like in the new year, that's when I'm going to really get my head down.
To listen to the full interview, go to the Franchise Entrepreneur podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and whatever else it is. Franchising, it attracts entrepreneurs because not every franchise works. Franchising reduces the risk of a failure rate.